Hey everybody, we just got off the Celebrity Ascent. We had an awesome time on there. Let's dive into it. Hey everybody, welcome to our channel. We are the Traveling Dinks. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Abby.
So we just got off the Celebrity Ascent.
Yes, we did a 7-night cruise to Dominican Republic, St. Maarten, and St. Thomas. One new stop for us, which was Dominican Republic, and then second time at St. Maarten and St. Thomas. First time on the Celebrity Ascent. Was very, very excited. If you do not know, Celebrity Ascent is Celebrity's newest cruise ship, newest Edge class ship. They definitely, it's a little bit larger than the sister ships, Edge and Apex, which we've been on the Apex and the Beyond, and they've added some new venues. So we were really excited. We've been on the Apex, its sister ship, and we could definitely tell some differences. Love the Apex, but really the Ascent is just like it's big, a little bit bigger, better sister. So it was really nice.
So this is our cruise review.
Yep.
So we have a grading scale that we go over. Do you want to do the grading scale?
Absolutely. So C is for crew, R is for restaurants, U is for uniqueness. So think of what is unique about Celebrity and the Ascent, and then just the overall brand. I is for itinerary, so think your ports. S is for ship, and E is for entertainment.
Yes, and then we will also give our final grade for each category at the end. So please stick around to see our final grade for the end of it. Also, if you have not liked and subscribed to our channel, please like and subscribe. Also, if you need any help planning a vacation, just email us at the email address on the screen right now. We'd be more than happy to help you plan your next cruise.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the first one we're diving into? C is for crew.
For crew. Celebrity is known for their amazing service. That is, Celebrity is a premier cruise line, and that did not shy away on this trip. We had so many amazing crew encounters. I don't even know if I can think of there's just so many I couldn't even really explain all of them right now, but great bar service, great poolside service. Our room attendant was really good. A little more reserved but our room was always clean.
Yeah, he didn't speak much English, but he was phenomenal at his job.
Yeah, he was great. If we had to nitpick anywhere, it would probably be on, this was our day one. This is the first time we did not have a balcony or an infinite veranda, and this is the lowest we've ever been on a ship. We were actually on deck 3. At 1 o'clock, Celebrity announced, or they announced over the speaker, that all the rooms were ready. And so about 1:30, 1:40, we go down our rooms because we like to unpack, and our room wasn't ready. So, and if it had been different, it was like 5 minutes after, but it was just strange that they announced it and then it wasn't ready. So we left, came back at like 3 or 3:30, and it was finally clean then. But that would probably, if I had to nitpick anywhere, that's probably where I would. But besides that, everyone was seemed super happy to be there, was more than willing to go above and beyond like we've experienced on other Celebrity cruises. And honestly, one of the reasons we keep coming back. So
yeah, if I had to nitpick on one thing, so this is the first time, so we were so excited about this cruise. We got there early, right? I didn't want to stay in the hotel room. I just wanted to go ahead and get to the ship, and I think the doors open to the terminal around 11, so we got there right at 11 o'clock.
Actually, a little early. We got there like 10:40.
Yeah, so we wanted to get there as soon as we could, because we usually get there around 11:30ish. In our past experiences, if you get there 11:30, 8 to 10 minutes, you're on the ship ready to go. So I wanted to experience getting there right when they opened to see how that was. And I probably won't do it again. I'll probably just plan to be there at 11:30 because there's just so many people. It was efficient. I'm not going to say they weren't efficient and they weren't awesome. There was just a large group of people there that were waiting. So then they did it in sections. It was just a lot more
It was
going
a little
on.
chaotic, and then
Yeah.
and then as you're getting on the ship, you're slowly going up the gangway, and yeah, I don't think we'll do that again. But yeah,
Yeah. So we probably won't do it again. But besides that, that's the only thing I can nitpick. And I'm not even saying they were bad at it. It was just a lot of people.
yeah, that might have been more us problem than them, but we won't probably do that again.
No. So the next category. Oh, let's rate the
Yeah,
category.
yeah.
So what would you rate the crew?
I would give it a 9.
Yeah, I'll probably stick with the 9.
Yeah, it's solid.
Our room steward was great. Pool service was phenomenal. Restaurants were absolutely great.
Yeah, it was
Just all
good.
around great service.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do it 9. All right, so we got
R for
R for
restaurants. One of
restaurants.
my favorite parts. Also, Celebrity is known for their food being a hair better than everybody else, in my opinion. And man, did they not disappoint. We did not have a bad meal. I did not have a bad meal on this cruise. We are typically main dining room people. We always usually splurge and do one specialty dining, which this time we did do fine cut. And that was obviously the best meal of the cruise. It was absolutely amazing.
Steak was like
Yes. And I'm
delicious.
not like, I usually have like one steak a cruise, but I ate like so much steak on this cruise. I had steak and fine cut. I had it 2 nights, maybe 3 nights in the main dining room. Every night was good. Obviously, the fine cut one was a little bit better quality, but all very good. The Apex, if you go back and watch our Apex review, we did kind of ding. Let me go back a little bit. Celebrity's main dining is a little bit different than your traditional main dining. Instead of one large room, there's actually 4 separate main dining rooms with their own menus, and then they have a little shared menu as well that you can get at all the restaurants.
But you also can order if you like your waiter
Yeah.
in Cosmopolitan, you can get stuff from the Tuscan or
Yeah,
any
you
other
can
one.
switch around. But on the Apex, if you go watch that video, we had 2 of the restaurants that we didn't really like. They redeemed themselves on this cruise. So I believe Cosmopolitan was my least favorite on the Apex. It was my favorite on this cruise, and he had the same experience with.
Cosmopolitan was
No, yours was Normandy.
Normandy. That's right,
Yeah.
Normandy. So Normandy was my least favorite, and I ain't gonna lie, it was great.
It was so good. The main dining room on the Apex, there was like a couple meals that were just like okay, but on this ship, every meal was so good. We had Mass Grill several times for lunch. That's their burgers and hot dog place.
Still the best burger at sea
We've had so
as of right
far.
now. It's going to be put to the test. We're going to have Guy's Burger this month. The month's coming up.
Yeah.
But right now,
Test.
Celebrity is probably the best
Yeah.
burger at sea.
Ocean View Cafe, which is Celebrity's buffet, the best buffet at sea. Great service. And then the Edge class ships buffet are just gorgeous. We should have some pictures and videos in here. We can show you their floor to ceiling windows in the buffet. Absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorite things about that ship. But Eden Cafe, my favorite little go-to spot on the ship. Andrew's not his favorite. Breakfast is good. We tried the lunch for the first time this trip, and I will be going back on. We have 2 Edge class ships booked, not coming up, but booked, and I will be eating the Eating Cafe for lunch.
I will say, in my opinion, the lunch is better than the breakfast. I did get a option where I paid for a
prime rib
sandwich. It was a lot better. I feel like the meat was better.
Higher quality.
Yeah, I felt like it was a little bit better. So I did not like the breakfast side of it, but the lunch was pretty good.
Yeah, so I was excited to try that. But yeah, food was great. What would you rate the food?
I'd probably give it a 8.5.
I would give it a 9.5.
Oh wow!
It was the best overall food experience I've had on a cruise, and this was my what is this, my 6th or 7th cruise, something like that. It was great food.
Yeah,
really good food.
Okay.
All right, so you U for uniqueness.
So uniqueness. So I always feel like there is a little bit of difference in all the edge classes, and there is a little uniqueness to each ship that you go on. For the Ascent, we've been on two edge class, the Apex and the Ascent. I personally like the Ascent better. I love the Martini bar, how it's laid out. It's much bigger, much more functional.
A lot more easier to get a seat.
A lot easier to get a seat. We would typically never have an issue getting a seat.
And there was 4 of us on this. We went with Andrew's parents, so bigger the crowd,
The
bigger
harder
group,
it is.
and we never had a hard time getting a seat.
No, and then the artwork on Celebrity is just beautiful. The hallway where artwork in, it was just a little bit more elegant.
The path to Eden.
The path to Eden.
Yeah.
And then you get past that, you're working your way into Eden, and they just brought out the greenery a little bit more. Thought that was a really nice touch. And then they put the world-class bar back on. I know it's on the Beyond too, but it was not on the Apex, which I was disappointed about that.
So glad Celebrity did that. I feel like they listened to their cruisers there, and we were really happy that they put the world-class bar. One thing I would like to say is they upgraded the sunset bar. On the Apex, it's pretty. It's got a little bit of a theme to it, but they went all out on the Ascent. It's a very Moroccan theme,
Yeah.
Very beautiful, much bigger. We never had a hard time getting a seat there. We loved hanging out there watching the sunset, or even going not late night, but going at night when it was a bit quieter. And they expanded. We didn't actually have any of the food there, but they did add some food options. They are additional, but if you're looking for more variety, I thought that was cool. I feel like they're kind of leaning into Royal a little bit and trying to give more and more options. So that was kind of unique to the ship, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, plus the plunge pools.
Oh yeah, how did I forget about that?
The plunge pools were really cool. We got in those quite a bit because we were on a cruise that was fully packed.
Yeah, it was 100% full.
And
it did help a little bit.
The pool was full, so we hung out at the plunge pools more than I think we anticipated. But they were nice.
We'll get to that when we get to the ship part. But that was cool. The plunge pools, I think, were a cool addition.
So uniqueness, what would you give it?
I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, probably me 7.5.
7.5. All right, and then for itinerary.
This one's interesting to me. We went to Dominican Republic, which we've never been to.
Very excited about.
And then we went to St. Maarten, which we did in the Apex, and we didn't like it.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
And then we went to St. Thomas, which we haven't been to in 10 years.
How did I forget about St. Thomas? Yeah. So let's dive into the first stop. What was the first stop?
Was Dominican Republic. And we won't go super into these because we do release videos on each port, but we'll give you kind of a overview. So our first stop was Dominican Republic. This is the stop we were both the most excited about. We did a super cool excursion.
I was about to say it did not disappoint.
No, it did not disappoint. It was great. If I had to say anything negative, which I guess is a Celebrity, maybe it's Dominican Republic, because I don't know what the port times are, like if they have a cutoff. But our excursion was literally the whole time we were at port, and we got back a little late, which we'll talk about that in our Dominican Republic video, what happened there. But we didn't get to really explore a lot of Dominican Republic because literally our whole time in port was at our excursion. But we'll tell you a little bit more about the actual excursion when if you watch our Dominican Republic port video. But very excited about Dominican Republic. It did not disappoint. We have one more cruise going there coming up, maybe 2. So we're really excited to go back and not do an excursion and just explore. But it was good.
Yeah, it was probably my favorite port. It was 100% my favorite port I went to. It did not disappoint at all. It lived up to every expectations that I have on the Dominican Republic. So yeah.
It was good.
So next stop was
St. Maarten, and I did something that I've never done before, and you did something you've never done before. Kind of going back to crew, which we left this out on purpose, the whole experience Andrew had in St. Maarten was because of a crew member. So our first night in World Class Bar, and I won't get too super deep in this because you need to see it in our video. We'll really explain it. But we had a crew member
recommend something to
recommend
us.
something, and Andrew did that. I will go ahead and spoiler alert. I did something I've never done. I stayed on the boat when we were at port. I didn't really enjoy St. Maarten last time we went. I will say after Andrew got back from his experience and he showed me some pictures and videos, we do have another cruise going there in 2026, and I've decided I'm going to get off the boat and we're going to go do some things that he saw. So I don't think I gave St. Maarten a fair enough chance. So I can't really speak on St. Maarten, but Andrew can.
Yeah, so it was my least favorite. It was my least favorite stop on our Apex cruise. Just didn't like it that much. It was just it to me it was not that great. But after going back this time and listening to the crew at the World Class Bar and just diving into it, I'd probably give it like a 7.58. We'll go with 8 because it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
I'll give it an 8. And it was definitely experience.
Yeah.
So go check out that video.
Yeah. And then St. Thomas, we haven't been back to in 10 years since our 1-year anniversary cruise.
That was an interesting stop.
Yeah. So you got to watch that video as well because we had a lot happen on that excursion. Love St. Thomas. We did not have a great excursion on this stop, and we had bad weather, which is nobody's fault. Towards the end, it got better, but our first 2 hours of our excursion, we did not. It was pouring down, raining. One thing I will go ahead and tell you is we got back late on our excursion, and we didn't have any time to do anything. There was I think we had 45 more minutes before we had to be all aboard, but we hadn't eaten in 6 hours, so we were hungry. And then we got back. We went up to the Ocean View Cafe, and then they were
it was just in that in between time.
There was 10 things to choose from to eat. So, yeah, but St. Thomas is beautiful. We've been there, and we had, an amazing time our first time there. And what we saw, it's beautiful. So I guess we give that kind of in between St. Maarten and Dominican Republic, but it was beautiful. So what would you rate just the overall ports for this trip?
Overall ports for the trip, I'd probably give it a 7.5.
I think I'd do the same, 7.5. Yeah, it was solid.
It was good.
Now S for ship.
Yeah. Oh, well, real quick, I do want to throw in there that these ratings that we're given are obviously our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I would never not recommend people going on a cruise. A cruise is always better than staying at the house.
Yep.
So these are just our opinions. We still had a blast on it. It was a great cruise. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah. Now S for ship.
This one, yeah. So, all right. So the ship was at 100% occupancy. So it was completely full. But on top of that, there was a group of 800 people that were a part of the same group. And
which tended to do a lot of the same things.
They were definitely typically younger. I want to say they were.
Yeah, it was a younger cruise.
It was a younger cruise for sure. So one thing I think Celebrity kind of still struggles with is Royal. They have their neighborhoods. They do a really good job of spreading groups
people out, yeah.
And just evening out everything. Celebrity still struggles with that, and especially when it comes to the pool, because every other Celebrity cruise, we've never had an issue with the pool, but since there was a lot of younger people on this cruise, everybody wanted to go to the pool. And just the way the Ascent pool deck is, they've flipped around the cabanas, they've taken away pools.
Yeah, they took away a whole row of pool chairs.
It was really hard to find a deck space. Matter of fact, on the last sea day, they have the poolest day ever, which is a great event they've started doing. Really awesome. But there was people getting out to the pool at 4:30 in the morning and sleeping out there to reserve a seat. And I'm not even joking.
Yeah, Andrew went out there about 7 after he worked out and texted me like, "You need to come up." Like I was sleeping, and I think I got up there like 7:45, and he had gotten like one of the last 10 chairs.
Yeah, at 7:10 there was no seats
Yeah, it
available.
was
It
crazy.
was insane.
So,
And Celebrity doesn't allow you to reserve seats with towels, so people sleep and
yeah.
just hog the seats, which is it is what it is.
And Celebrity's pool deck is my favorite pool I've ever seen on a ship. It's big, it's gorgeous. The Apex, it's crazy because the Ascent is a bigger boat, but the way they redesigned the pool deck, it's a smaller pool deck. Well, it's bigger, but there's more of like there's some like comfy like bench seating and stuff, but the actual loungers, because of how they redesigned the cabanas, it took away a whole row of probably 30 to, I would say, 30 to 40 deck chairs. And then on the pool estate ever on top of that, they took up a bunch of chairs so like the dancers would have places to dance and stuff. So they probably took up another 20, 25 chairs when it was like the biggest day to be at the pool. We have never been on a celebrity cruise where we like could not get a seat by the pool. That was my biggest disappointment of this whole trip. So the way they redesigned the pool deck, I'm not a fan
Even
of.
the inside, what's the inside pool called?
A solarium.
The solarium. Even the solarium was slam packed.
Yeah, but that's not really a fault to the ship because that's
No,
how it was
but
on
I
the
think
other.
it was the overflow
Yeah.
from the pool.
But to get into some positives, like we kind of hinted on before, we love the upgrades that they've done to the Ascent versus the Edge and the Apex. The only downfall we would say is the way they redesigned the pool deck. They didn't really redesign it. Some minor changes. We love the new plunge pools. We love the expanded and beautified sunset bar.
Mm-hmm.
Love the addition to the world class bar. Love the expanded martini bar.
I feel like the world class bar being there, even though it was up a deck from Craft Social, I feel like it took a lot of traffic away from Craft Social.
100%. Yeah.
I like Craft Social. It's a cool place to hang out and have like a craft beer,
a whiskey.
a whiskey. So world class is not very big, but it does take a lot of traffic away from it.
Yeah, on the Apex, the Craft Social was always packed, and it wasn't nearly as packed on this cruise. We also didn't cruise during football season. This wasn't during football season, but I do agree. I think it helped alleviate some of that crowd. But to me, I believe the Ascent is like the bigger, better version of the Apex and the Edge. My only downfall would be the pool area. So I would give the Ascent, and the pool is such a big part of our cruise. We lay by the pool on a sea day, so this is going to kind of hurt it. But I would give it an 8.5.
I was on saying 8.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the pool, it would be a 10 out of 10. Like if it was the Ascent, the Apex setup of the pool, it would probably be a 10 out of 10. But I'll give it 8.5. So you said an 8.
Yeah, the pool really was a damper, and it really sucked. Like
it took away from some of our experience.
The first sea day, we weren't able to sit by the pool at all.
Oh, something we need to talk about, even though we already said our thing, is the thermal suite. We experienced that and had an amazing time. They have made some changes to the thermal suite. We did something different this time, which I don't even know if we were offered this on the Apex.
The 3-day.
Yeah, we did the Apex, they only offered a day pass or a week pass. They offered a 3-day pass on the Ascent. And we did that, and we loved it. I love the thermal suite. I could live in there. We really utilized it this time.
A little hack, though, is first 2 days we went together to the thermal suite. And then when we were in St. Maarten, I got off the boat and Abby went into the thermal suite. Well, on the last day, I was like, well, I have one more day on the thermal suite, so let's just go ahead and use it, right? And Abby came with me, even though she technically had no more days left. Well, they allowed her in. So
yeah, I just asked, and they said, yeah, go ahead. That's probably more of a crew thing if they're going to allow you to do that. But
that's a hack that if you get a 3-day pass, you might be able to get a 4th day out of it.
Because we wouldn't have used 7 days. We just wouldn't have. So the 3-day pass was perfect. I hope that's offered on the rest of the trips we are on, because it's like the perfect mix.
But the nice thing about it is I like the hanging chairs and swings, but they're just a lot of waste of space because you don't use them that much. So they got rid of a couple of them,
Yeah, it
and
was.
extended the
Yeah,
chairs.
it used on the Apex. It was 4 hanging swings, seats, whatever. Now it's 2, and I think they were able to add 2 or 3 of the hot stone loungers that we love to lay on. So 10/10 recommend the thermal suite. It's a great investment for your cruise. So throwing that in there, it's still 8.5 and 8,
Yeah.
but we wanted to talk about that because we love it and we got some really good footage to share with you.
All right. So the last one.
Last but not least, E for entertainment.
So to
Where do we
me,
start?
this entertainment, I'm not going to go into too much detail because we got an entertainment video we're going to release. But for me, this was the best entertainment we have had on a celebrity ship.
Yeah, I was about to say on a celebrity ship. It was absolutely phenomenal. The main production showcast were amazing, incredibly talented. Some of the, I think the best vocalist, and I think I said this on our Apex video, but I think these are the best vocalists we've experienced. Amazing dancers. The
Was were the people that, I'm gonna sound dumb here, sorry, but with the people that hang?
acrobatics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. The acrobatics on this
Were
were,
so good.
they got the whole crowd pumped up. They were absolutely phenomenal.
Something that was a big difference for a bit different experience for us is on the Apex, and I hate that we keep comparing it, but the Eden shows were kind of okay or lackluster.
Or you didn't know the
Exact,
storyline.
yeah, you didn't really understand what it was about. Can't say that about the Ascent Eden cast. The shows were amazing. The cast was phenomenal. We wanted more shows. We went to every show but one, and that's because I forgot why, but we didn't go to one of them. But we wanted more shows. It was the Eden production cast were so amazing. The shows were so good. The main theater shows were so good. I don't feel like it. I feel like sometimes on any cruise line, your main theater shows can kind of just feel like a bunch of songs with no really story. I felt like every show was telling a story. They were very different. Um, just great. A lot of great music and live music throughout the ship. Celebrity is working on getting more activities and games and trivia. We experienced a lot of that. We always have to do bingo, so we did bingo. So I feel like the coolest day ever. That
That
was a
was
new
new.
addition. We didn't have that on the Apex. I think that's a new thing. They do it, I believe, always on the last sea day. We had it on the last sea day. That was a really fun addition. The Shine the Night party was really, really fun. We actually went to that this time and stayed up, which was really a good time.
Yeah, the my only downfall to the entertainment is, and I get it, it's not, I'm not trying to say I want them to be on Carnival or
Royal.
Royals level with the nighttime entertainment, but after the show and after dinner, it really, really dies down.
Yeah, usually there'll still be 1 or 2 kind of activities besides like there's like 2 or 3, and then you have the Eden show that's always late night.
But there's, if you don't want to go, just if you don't want to do shows, like you're not into the whole shows thing at night, that my only complaint is there's not much for you to
Yeah,
do.
unless there's like an 80s party or like a Shine the Night party, which is like usually 2 to 3 nights of the cruise, there'll be like a big party. Those other nights it is a little more lackluster. So that's kind of where you kind of pick and choose. Like Royal and Carnival are going to have a lot more late night activities. Celebrity, you're just not going to get that. But I do think they're trying on these
Yeah.
edge class ships. We can tell a difference. We've sailed the Solstice class. It is definitely more like pretty much after the shows, you can go drink at the bar, play in the casino. That's your options. So I do feel like they're trying with the edge class ships. We're just not 100% there. But the entertainment was great. We are, like Andrew said, we're going to do a full review of that. Please check it out. We'll give a lot more details about everything we experienced. But what would you rate the entertainment?
I would rate the entertainment on the ship a 9. I thought it was fantastic. I'd give it a 9.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. It was really, really good. I do wish there was a little more activities and just like trivia, like more our age, but I do feel like they've updated the music. It's a lot more our generation. The shows were phenomenal. So I'll give it 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that brings us to our
Grand
overall grand total individually for the cruise. All right, so what would your grand total for the Celebrity Ascent be?
So if you add all my personal ratings together, I would be giving the Celebrity Ascent 7-night to Dominican Republic, St. Thomas, and St. Maarten an 8.4, and Andrew would be giving it.
My grand total would be an 8.2. So overall, it was a fantastic cruise.
Solid cruise.
And like I said, cruising, whether it's okay, great, to me, it's far better than being either at work, at home. It's just a great vacation. Please like and subscribe to this channel. That helps us out a lot. Also, if you need help with vacations, we have a lot of cruises. We love cruises. We go on all kinds of cruises. Please email us an email address on the screen. I'll be more than happy. We would be more than happy to assist you with that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, have a wonderful day.
We'll see you next time.